Accor Global Sales, and today I'm going to be keeping it real with Marina Elsner, who is our Director of Sustainable Development and Communications with Accor. Marina, over this past pandemic year, I dusted off my high school tennis racket and hit the courts for the first time in years, probably 20 years at least. Have you picked up any pandemic hobbies yourself?
Yes, mine has been getting active as well. Have been doing a lot of running actually. Any chance to get out of the house and just have a change of scenery, I think has been really important. So I think that's it's definitely been my go-to.
Now, I wanted to go ahead and get down to some specific questions because I know you and your team have been up to some really great sustainability initiatives, and that's what we're here to talk about today. So if we could go ahead and just start with the big picture of Accor's philosophy on sustainability.
So when you look at the hospitality industry, I think it's important to remember that we rely very heavily on the world's resources and the communities that we're a part of. And the way that we're structured in the hospitality industry, we are unique in that we operate at the crossroads of multiple sectors, from hotels and restaurants to tourism, real estate, and digital services. And with that, we do face a host of far-reaching environmental, social, and societal challenges. And I think when we speak about Accor and sustainability, it's important to remember the sheer size of us as an organization. We are a people-centric organization with around 300,000 employees. We operate across 100 countries with 5,000 hotels. And each day we welcome millions of guests, providing them with food, water, and energy. And I think it really helps just set the scene in terms of our reach and our impact, as well as the responsibility that we have to operate in a sustainable manner. And I think for Accor and for the group, it really not only understands those responsibilities, but has really embraced them too. And for more than 25 years, Accor has been at the forefront of the efforts to address the challenges that are associated with the industry and have really placed sustainability at the heart of the group's business model. And I think this has really proven to be true over the last year, because despite the devastating impacts of the pandemic on the industry and on the world, Accor has continued to make great strides as it relates to our CSR program. And CSR has and will continue to play an important role in the group's development. And I think this is really evident with the appointment of our new Chief Sustainability Officer, who will be a member of Accor's executive committee and will be reporting directly to Sebastian Bazan, our group CEO.
Our program is called Planet 21. Can you tell our viewers a little bit more about Planet 21?
Planet 21, the framework is structured around 4 key stakeholders and their engagement in our hotel operations. So with this, we have our employees, our guests, our partners, and our communities, and is then also structured around 2 key business challenges, which are food and buildings. So when we look at those key areas of focus, each of them have specific objectives that address global environmental and social challenges that impact the hospitality industry. And when we look at Planet 21 and how this is operationalized, it is a comprehensive program that allows our hotels to achieve 1 of 4 levels: bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. And in order for a hotel to achieve any of these levels, they must be compliant with a set of mandatory actions that have been set out by Accor. And once they're compliant with those mandatory actions, they're able to achieve bronze level. Once they've achieved bronze level and are compliant with those mandatory actions, they then have the ability to enhance their sustainability performance through a selection of around 60 voluntary actions. So each of the hotels are really able to embrace their own sustainability performance with the guidance from Accor.
No, earlier you had referenced, obviously Accor being a large company, 5,000 hotels around the globe. So what are we as a brand doing about our carbon footprint, which we know is a hot topic as well?
Very timely question. So in December 2019, Accor commenced its latest journey on, as it relates to their climate journey. And they set a formal commitment to set science-based targets. And earlier this year, those targets were set and have now been validated. And what this means is that over the next 9 years, Accor will be actively working to reduce its greenhouse gas emissions. So it will be actively working to reduce scope 1 and 2 emissions by 46% by 2030 in comparison to a baseline year of 2019. And will also be actively working to reduce its scope 3 greenhouse gas emissions by 28% over the same time period. And in addition to this, the group has also made a long-term commitment to reach net zero carbon emissions by 2050. So definitely ambitious commitments, but we have a very dedicated team around the globe that will make sure that's possible.
Another question that we're being asked in the field from our customers is, what is Accor's position as it relates to single-use plastics? Are you able to elaborate on that?
About a year ago now, in January 2020, Accor announced its new commitment to eliminate all guest-related single-use plastic items from its hotels by the end of 2022. So this target was set as part of the Global Tourism Plastic Initiative, which is led by the United Nations Environmental Program and the World Tourism Organization. So we've already been working on this for a number of years now, but it just provides that concrete deadline that we will be actively working towards.
It's exciting to hear all the sustainability initiatives that Accor has in place. Before we go, do you have any closing thoughts or key messages that you really want to leave with our audience today?
If we reflect back on the last year, it's really shown us how interconnected our world is, and for our industry has really served as a reminder of the vulnerabilities that our industry faces when it comes to external forces. And it's really just reinforce the need to take action. And I think, when we're looking at Accor, I feel very optimistic in terms of, despite all the disruptions the last year has given us, Accor has continued to keep sustainability at the forefront, and as I mentioned, has continued to make great strides. So I'm optimistic that this will continue to be a priority, and that the collective action that the group and our hotels have will really help us to achieve all of those ambitious commitments that have been set.
Thanks so much for your time today to have this conversation. I really wish we could have done this in person, but unfortunately that wasn't possible just quite yet, so Zoom it is. But I do have one final question for you before we go, and that is, after being home in Toronto for so long, what are you most excited to do once the pandemic is over?
Travel. I think a lot of people have the same answer, but I'm excited to get on a flight and to travel, and my family live abroad, so I'm excited to reconnect with them and everyone really. So what about you, Christina?
I was going to say the same thing. So I'll see you at the airport, or I'll see you at one of our many hotels around the globe, I hope. So thank you all for joining us today. It was really fun to have some time with Marina and keep it real about sustainability. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Christina.